Thank you very much, Dr. Barnhart. What a nice introduction and very brief and to the point. I've been told to do the same thing. It is really a privilege to get to come here each year for International Space Camp, to get to see the costumes that we have, the personalities that we have here. This is really a fun evening, and I am already enjoying myself immensely. You know, I flew, as Dr. Barnhart mentioned, I flew 5 times aboard the space shuttle. My first 3 missions were purely United States missions. In fact, one of them might have been a reconnaissance mission. So they were purely United States missions. Over the years, our space program has evolved. We evolved into being much more of an international program. Witness the International Space Station. On my 4th flight, I flew a space lab, which was managed right here in Huntsville, out of the Marshall Space Flight Center. And it was a cooperative flight with the Japanese. And so we got to train in Japan, we got to meet a bunch of the Japanese astronauts, and we were evolving our space program into very much an international program as well. My final flight, my 5th mission, was with the Russians. We trained in Star City outside of Moscow, which is where the cosmonauts train. I went to the Russian Mir space station. I had to attempt to learn to speak Russian. And if there's anyone here that speaks Russian, don't correct me. But the sentence I have learned the best in Russian is "Я говорю по-русски очень плохо и понимаю ничего." I speak Russian very poorly and understand nothing. But our space program has truly evolved into a very much international program. Space Camp has led the way in following and in being just like our space program. And so it is indeed a wonderful thing that for 20 years now we've been doing International Space Camp, mirroring what's happened in the space program out there in the world. And it's going to continue that way. A mission to Mars, a mission back to the moon, a mission to an asteroid, those are going to be very large, very complex missions. Space Camp has already started putting in place the infrastructure to train for those types of missions. And so Space Camp has always been right there leading the way every step of the way. And so it is a real privilege for me to be here tonight to address all of you. And from my Japanese mission, I learned Hajimemashite, which is sort of welcome. From my Russian, I learned Dobro Pожаловать, which is welcome. Previous to those missions, all I knew how to say was welcome. So, welcome to Space Camp.